She ran away in her sleep, dreamed of paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes. When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, and the bullets catching her teeth. Life goes on, it gets so heavy, the wheel breaks the butterfly. Every tear a waterfall. In the night, the stormy night, she closed her eyes. In the night, the stormy night, away she flies. A dream of paradise, paradise, paradise. Oh, she dreamed of paradise, so lying underneath those stormy skies, she said, oh, I know the sun was set to rise. This could be paradise, paradise, could be paradise. Oh, this could be
Wasn't this a great performance? So I think this truly deserves one more round of applause. But before that, I just have a small request. So this time, instead of clapping, could we just wave our hands in the air like this? She's Shahzeen, and she wants to thank all of you for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you, Shahzeen. Yeah, so I think by now, most of you must have guessed that Shahzeen is deaf. She could not hear a single beat of the audio that she was dancing on. Shahzeen was wearing Glee, a wearable band that was helping her understand music. It was helping her experience the rhythm through its vibrations. So for us, can we imagine dance without music? I'm sure not. But for artists like Shahzeen, dance does not really need any supplementary element to be enjoyed. They dance to express themselves. They dance to communicate with all of us. They dance to the rhythm within. 2 years ago, I first saw some deaf dancers perform. And their instructor was sitting in between the audience and the dancers, and she was continuously showing them visual clues and counts. And the dancers were also continuously looking at her while dancing. So this really disturbed both the ends of the performance. Being a designer and a classical dancer myself, the whole scenario really fascinated me. So I shared this with my co-founder Nupura. She also, being from a music background, got intrigued by this challenge. And we started eventually working on this as a college project. And frankly, at that point of time, we had no clue that this would be something that we would want to dedicate the most important years of our careers to. But eventually, things just happened that led us in this exciting zone of entrepreneurship and impact. So initially, when we started working on this project, we met a lot of deaf people. We interacted with them. And most importantly, we observed them. We realized that not having the sense of hearing has made their sense of vision and touch to be incredibly advanced. We saw they were touching the loudspeakers to feel the music. They were touching the floors, the walls to, feel the vibrations of the sound. And then we had our answer. The sense of touch. After that, it took us a lot of explorations and prototypes to come up with a wearable band that conveyed music through vibrations to these dancers. And this gave them the confidence and independence to perform on their own on stage. Coming from a design background, both of us always followed a systematic design process with a user-centered approach. And this made us realize that the concept which we had of conveying sound through vibrations is something we could use in so many other applications. And so further, we modified our concept to cater not only deaf dancers, but the entire deaf community. So in our daily routines, there are so many events that we notice just because of their sounds, right? And people who are deaf, they just miss out on all these events because they cannot react to sound. And sometimes these could be emergency notifications as well. So for example, say doorbell, fire alarm, alarm clock, or even microwave beeps. There are so many such events. Now, one might think that these aren't very important, tasks or very important sounds to be noticed. But imagine, not being able to hear them can affect a person's independence and safety. So we realized that deaf people were they could associate any sound with its tactile feel. So imagine a deaf couple with a hearing baby. So the couple has to keep an extra eye on the baby just to know when the baby cries, because otherwise, if they don't actually see it, they would never know. Or similarly, if someone is calling out your name, that person has to actually come and tap you on your back to grab your attention, right? So in all such scenarios, BLE becomes a constant hearing companion that notifies the users about all these events through vibrations. So eventually, now we've added color codes and lights to the solution to make it more effective. So now, each event and each sound notification is associated with a particular vibration pattern and a color code. It's that simple. And we frankly think the simplicity of the solution makes it more efficient and special. Because as we all know, innovation is not really coming up with something very complex to solve a problem. It's just about joining all the dots wisely to get the perfect picture. Today, we've come a long way. Like before, we were doing a college project and fighting for grades. But now, today, we are trying to build a company which will hopefully make an impact in the deaf community. We were fortunate to be a part of many prestigious platforms. Apart from awards and recognitions, we also got a chance to represent our company in Silicon Valley. And we were also part of Indo-US Startup Connect that happened in San Jose last year, which was attended by Prime Minister Modi to showcase India's startup potential. And it was amazing. The whole journey has been very amazing. Our parents, teachers, our friends, they all are proud of us, and even we are flattered. But you know what? There's something else really that keeps us going. So these smiles, these faces, and the glow that comes when people use our product, it's just amazing. And that is why even today we are trying to reach our users as much as possible. So after working in the space of disabilities for a while now, we have realized the huge scope, potential, and more importantly, the need of innovation in this space. We have realized that making this world accessible to each and every person, irrespective of his physical or mental health, is very essential. Today, we have technology solutions for every silly problem. And frankly, I think some of them don't even qualify as problems. And on the other hand, there's this huge space that is looking for technology solutions. And there are very few feasible solutions that are available. And if you look at price-sensitive markets such as India, we have a very long way to go. So this space does not only require design and technology innovations, but also some great breakthroughs in terms of business modeling. Now, I know that everyone in the audience is not going to start working on accessibility solutions from tomorrow, and you don't have to. But just being aware and considerate about disabilities will take us a long way. We felt very sorry for ourselves initially for being so ignorant. When we talk to people about deafness, we get some very funny comments, such as, so do deaf people read books in Braille? Right? Think about it. This makes no sense. Or some people, even today, ask us if deafness is a curse. Or people who call them deaf and dumb. Well, understand, they're just deaf, they're not dumb. I'll just give you our example of how this whole thing has changed our perspective of looking at disabilities. So this is Samir. He's one of our teammates, and he's deaf. So we have taken and we have made our first move towards creating equal opportunities. Today, we have started noticing and appreciating ramps at public places. Today, even we acknowledge if there are any Braille signboards. And for the same reason, we tried to interpret our talk during this session. So, being thinkers and creators, we have a great power and responsibility to empower people who are looking for just some push and a feeling of belongingness towards the mainstream society. Because they're just like all of us. They're intelligent, they're funny, sometimes they're mean, stupid. They fight, they fall in love, they have dreams, just like all of us, because they're no different. So next time, when we meet someone with a disability, instead of being awkward and trying to avoid the situation, let's make an effort and go and talk to them. Trust me, it matters a lot. Thank you.